Welcome back to application testing with UiPath Studio Pro. In the previous demo, we've put to work the capabilities of Studio Pro of generating synthetic test data. This is useful in every stage of testing, especially in the earliest ones. Today, we're going to look at a more scalable way of consuming test data. That is, using test data queues in Orchestrator. This can be extremely useful when more than one test robot is executing test cases. Rather than manually splitting and distributing the data variation files, the use of queues offers an elegant and scalable way of making use of test data in test automation. It's an illustration of the dispatcher-performer model, in which the activities of creating and loading the test data, on the one hand, and consuming it, on the other, are entirely separated. We'll be using the apply for a loan example once more, shall we? We're again in Studio Pro, and we'll navigate to the Activities panel. And in the testing section, apart from the synthetic data generation activities that we've seen in the previous demo, we have a couple of activities having test data queue in their name. These are meant to add data to queues, as well as fetch data from them. Let's see these in action. Here we already created the automation that will generate the synthetic test data and feed it to Orchestrator. This is called Dispatcher. Let's take a closer look. This starts with an input dialog, where it asks the user for the number of records to be generated. Then, inside a while loop, and the try-catch block meant to catch errors, it first generates a first name and a last name. These two fields are not needed in the test case directly, thus they are not needed in the test data queue. But the email, which is a mandatory field, is created by concatenating the two random names. It then uses an add test data queue item to add the fields needed in each queue item. The name of the queue needs to be added in the properties. The data for each field is generated using random number activities. For the email address, an assign is used. The process of generating and adding the synthetic test data is repeated until the queue has been populated with the desired number of items. Alright, let's quickly see where the synthetic data will be added. This is Orchestrator, and here in the Testing tab, one of the pills is Test Data Queues. We can create a new test data queue by using this plus button. But we already have the queue. It's this one right here. And if we select View Items, we can see that it's empty. But we also have a preview of its structure. Through its columns, the email address, the loan amount, the term, the yearly income, and the age. The last column is called as consumed. You can probably guess what it's meant for. If not, let's keep the mystery for a couple of minutes. So, we have the dispatcher automation, and we have the queue. Let's see how they work. We'll start the automation from Studio Pro and input the number of records we need. Let's say 100. The process has started and runs in the background. Let's refresh Orchestrator. Our 100 records are here, on 2 pages, ready to be consumed. This is exactly what we're going to demo in the next couple of minutes. Back to Studio Pro, let's open the automation that will consume the data, also known as Performer. This begins with a get test data queue item. The input is once again the name of the queue. Once the queue item is retrieved, we're separating the email, the amount, the term, the yearly income, and of course, the age. At this point, we're ready to input all this data in UiBank to apply for a loan. Now remember, even if we're demonstrating test data consumption with testing at the UI level, this could have been API testing, or even database testing. Let's run this one too. Our automation will first log into UiBank, then apply for a loan using a dataset stored in the test data queue. And if we go back to the test data queue in Orchestrator, we can see that the consumed field on the corresponding row is now checked. We're at the end of our demonstration. We hope you enjoyed the use of test data queues with synthetic data for application testing. See you soon for another demo.